Welcome everyone to our weekly Tuesday night class, Pessah edition. Tonight's class is generously sponsored, so please have in mind the following. Tonight's class is dedicated by Scott and Jordan Fessler for the Refuah Shlema Chaya Bat Sipa. Refuah Shlema, Bezrat Hashem, please have in mind, Refuah Shlema Chaya Bat Sipa. As well, tonight's class is generously sponsored by Alex Siegel, Hazak Baruch, in honor of his grandmother's yortzeit, Askara, Hashkaba for Eliza Bat Mordechai. Ruach Adonai Tzadichena Magen Eden. He Bechol Benot Yisrael Shekhinah Echanim V'Aserichot V'Chen Yehi Ratzon V'Nomar Amen. It's going to be 1 year next week. So there's no. Can you imagine the flowers that you're sending her right now for Pessah, with all of these brachot, all of these amens, all of the inspiration. It's the best gift you could get her, and she's so appreciative. She can't say it, you can't hear it, but she's saying thank you. So Hazak Baruch Alex, Hazak Baruch Jordan, and Scott. Jordan here? I didn't see him. He's not here today. So Scott and Alex and Jordan should be as a food for you guys as well. Bezrat Hashem, as you enter the holiday of Pessah, Hashem should take you out of your personal Mitzrayim, and we should be zocheh, all of us, to continue to grow and be inspired with health and to be here right now to learn. A lot of things have to line up for you. Think about it. The fact that you're here means that your wife let you come, that you, or maybe she didn't let you, but you still came. It means that you don't have any headaches. It means that your daughter is not sick, that you have to take her to the hospital. So there's a lot of amazing brachot from the fact that you're here right now. So really the best bracha is that Hashem should continue to bless us, that we could always be here every Tuesday night, that we don't have any financial stress, no worries, no headaches, no problems. Bezrat Hashem. Amen. And as well, welcome to the entire Alex crew, the Siegel family and extended family. Okay. The attendance is always like this, by the way. Just FYI. Okay. But thank you guys for coming. Hazak Baruch. Okay, gentlemen. So we're going to talk tonight a little bit about the holiday of Passover, and Pessah is coming up. It's a beautiful night. According to Chacham Ovadia Yosef, he writes that it's the most holy night of the year. He writes that in his book. He says there's no holier night of the year than the first night of Passover. There's something magical about Pessah, something very powerful about this holiday, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is waiting for this night, and we're going to access it, we're going to tap into it on Monday night. And so it's very important that we come prepared. You don't want to just show up. Life is all about preparation. We know that. We know that the team that wins the game is not the one that shows up on Sunday, right? It's the one that prepared the entire week before. The one that the coach that prepared better in the practice. That's the team that wins. Showing up on Sunday night to play Sunday night football, that's just the result. What you're seeing there is really just the result of weeks of preparation that went on, the chess match beforehand. Right? So it's very foolish to think that we're just going to show up Monday night and just do some things and we're going to, right? It's such a beautiful night. It's such an awesome night. So we want to make sure that we access it properly. You need to know, first of all, that the Jewish holidays are not the same as non-Jewish holidays. It's a very important idea, what I'm telling you now. Non-Jewish holidays, July 4th became always a thing in the year 1776. 1775, if you told a guy happy July 4th, what are we doing about it? There's nothing special about July 4th prior to 1776. We only celebrate it because something happened. You see, the non-Jewish holidays, an event came, and therefore we remember that event. That's not how it works with the Jewish holidays. Jewish holidays are very, very holy, and Jewish holidays were holy from the beginning of time. That means that when Hashem created the world, there were certain days in the year that Hashem put different energy. The night of Pessah, God created on the 15th of Nisan, an energy. And the first day of Tishri is an energy. And the 10th is an energy. And the 15th is a power. Different days in the year. God, like you have mazalot, like you have zodiacs, like horoscopes. So there's different days in the year. From the beginning of time, God put in that day something that is opportune. Pessah was always a holiday. From the beginning of time, it was important. From the beginning of time, there was something in this day called freedom. It's not because we left that it became the day of freedom. Because it's a day of freedom, that's why we left that day. It was always a day of freedom. Actually, God could have taken us out a year earlier. The Makot lasted a year. God actually stole. He waited. The best day for us to go free was that day. Because that's the day of freedom to the beginning of time. So we're not celebrating Pesach because they left. They left because that's when Pesach is. And when they left, they just showed us how to tap into freedom. But really, that's why the Gemara says, Avraham Avinu kept Pesach. And you say, it's very silly, Rabbi. Come on. Don't try to tell me that nonsense. Abraham, I'm smart enough to know Abraham came before we went into Egypt even. How could he have eaten matzah? We didn't have matzah, Rabbi. The answer is nothing to do with matzah. The day is a day. The day is a very powerful day from the beginning of time, from inception. And that day, Abraham knew it. Abraham was able to tap into that day from the beginning. And so when we are entering next week, Monday night, we're not remembering something that happened. We are realigning ourselves on the day, from the beginning of time. That was a very powerful day. It's true with all Chagim. Each holiday has its magic. There are times in the year that you could get a fresh start. There are times in the year that you're able to gain forgiveness. There are times in the year that you could get happier. You could always be happy. But there's some times in the year that it's easier. Easier to catch, easier to grab, easier to find. Rav Dessler explains it's like a train station. When the train leaves the station didn't go anywhere. It's only the train that left. You see, when we go through the year, we think that, okay, we left, the holiday's gone. No. The holiday's there. We left. We moved on to the next day. A year later, we come right back. You see, time doesn't travel in a straight line. Time travels in a spiral. And so the Ma'agal Hashanah, as it's called, it's not like a straight line, like, here we left Egypt in the year 2448, and now here we are, 5784, and we're just, no. It's not straight. Time goes like this. And every year we're coming back to the same station that the Jews were at. We're going back to the same station that Abraham was at. We're coming back to the same exact energy that was there, right here. The energy never leaves. And we tap in. And if we know how, every one of us are going to find freedom this year. So when you study the story of Pesach, it's true, yes, we're learning about their freedom. But like we say in the Haggadah, Chayav Adam leharot et atzmo ki'ilu hu yatsa Mitzrayim. Gentlemen, we have to realize that we are leaving Mitzrayim. Everyone here has a Mitzrayim. Everyone here has something. Everyone here has that addiction, or that problem, or that issue. Maybe it's, Shalom Bayit. Maybe it's trying to have children. Maybe it's trying to get married. Maybe it's trying to get divorced, right? Whatever you're trying to do. Everyone's trying to do something else. We have those things that we can't let go of. We each have that paro in our lives. That paro that's controlling us. Sometimes it could be somebody else. Sometimes it could be a parent that we hate working for. Or maybe somebody that's controlling us. Or maybe we're stuck with friends that we just don't want to be with anymore. Or maybe there's something that we're doing. Maybe it's an addiction that we have to gadgets or to substances. But everyone's looking for freedom. And the real Ben Chorim, the real free man, does what really, there's no greater freedom, gentlemen, know it's going to sound crazy, but there's no greater freedom than a man who is a slave to God. The greatest level of freedom in life is when you're a slave to Hashem. Because when you're a slave to Hashem, you are a slave only to Hashem and to nobody else. And actually being a slave to God means living the way God wants us to live. And that means living in line with perfection. In line with being the best versions of ourselves. But a guy who's not a slave to Hashem, trust me, he's a slave to many other things. One guy said to me one time, he's like, Rabbi, I don't want to keep the Torah and this word. Very limiting, very confining, slavery. I thought we already left slavery. I want to be free. I want to do what I want to do. And the truth is, this man is the biggest slave there is. I mean, think about it. We're not really in control. How many times do we make a resolution that we're going to do something, and then the next day we're back on it? Right? You're not in control of yourself more than you are of the guy next to you. We're not, if we're honest. We try. We make things. Kabbalot. All right, the soldiers, we're going to start doing this for them. Now rockets are coming in, we start doing that. Rosh Hashanah, we're going to start doing this. And then we come back, and now all this didn't make a dent. Back at square one. Right? We're very weak. If we're honest, we're not free. We're free. You're doing what you want to do. You had clarity. You swore you were never going to do that again. Here you are. You're lucky if you lasted 3 days. Here you are. What happened? You're not in control. We are slaves. There's something that we are slaves to. Inside. There's a force. There's the animal part of us. That's what we're trying to break free of. It's not easy. It's not an easy process for you. So when we study Paro is, yes, once upon a time. But really, what is Paro? We each have a Paro. Paro, gentlemen, is the same letters as Oref. What's Oref? Anyone knows? Oh. Oref is the back part of the neck. The neck is what connects the mind and the body. We each have a stiff neck. A stiff neck represents the idea that sometimes it's hard for us to take things from here and bring it down to here. We want to. We try to. We write them down. We go to class. Up here we know what's hurting us, what's ruining our marriage, what's ruining my performance at work, what's ruining my relationship with my friends, how I can be better, how I can be healthier. Up here we know, but we got a stiff neck. We each have a paro, gentlemen. And so on Pessah, we're trying to break free from paro. Not the guy that you go visit in the museum, Ramses II or whoever the thing is. You're trying to break free from your paro. We each have one. And Mitzrayim is not a place. Mitzrayim is a space in ourselves. Min ha-metzar ka'aratiya. Right? Metzar. Tight. We each have things that we're slaves to. We're trying to break free. That's going to happen Monday night. Realize the power. But we got to do it right. So our tradition gave us amazing tools, things, foods that we eat that help guide us. Our rabbis actually gave us 15 steps to freedom. It's all there. It's all in the Haggadah. If we just know how to open and read. And we get, Hajj, Kadesh, Uchat, and there's always that uncle or that cousin that has 1,000 Var Torahs who just came back from Israel, who thinks he's going to now make us all religious. And all right, buddy, save the notebooks for later, right? And we get, right, a little bit restless. Speed it up, right? There's always that one point in the Haggadah where all the kids are sharing their things. And then these two uncles are fed up and look at each other like, all right, we're going. And they start zipping through the rest of it. You know what I mean? Let's eat. Okay? So the 15 steps are not there to be annoying. The 15 steps are there to guide us to freedom. And we have to know how to read them. We have to know how to understand them. Kadesh, that's a step. Urchatz, Karpas, Yachat, Magid, Rochza, wash again. Each one is said that is jam-packed. I can't tell you now in an hour class all the secrets. is impossible. That's why we got to read up on it. Last year, many of you purchased the Haggadah from Acham Avadia. You told me they loved it. We have a few upstairs, by the way. If anyone still wants to purchase, there's a Venmo, you QR code, you pay the guy, and take the book. Read up a little. Well, any book you like. Can't tell you now all the 15 things. But tonight we got to talk a little something, right? We got to start somewhere. So let's talk a little bit about how do we access freedom in our lives. Step one, we take our cue from the foods. So as an example, the rabbi said matzah. Matzah is a big step to freedom. Eat matzah. And if you eat matzah and you internalize what you're eating, you'll become free. Well, what is matzah? Matzah is the food of freedom. And we eat it. We got to eat 4 kazayits. Make sure you prepare, gentlemen. Make sure you have your scale, or make sure you know how big you got to have a piece of. Right? Make sure it's mechanical, not electrical. Make sure you're leaning to the left properly. All of these things. Right? 4 kazetot. And when you're eating 4 kazayits, there should be one thing going on in your mind as you're eating that matzah, leaning to the left. Not, oh, it's cardboard, oh, I can't. Ajit. That's not what you should be talking about. You should be meditating on these thoughts that we're sharing here. Deep thoughts. Maybe share them with your wife. Share them with your family. Get them in on the secret. So what is matzah? Matzah is actually a very dangerous food to eat. You know, matzah and chametz are very similar. They're very similar actually in spelling. Matzah and chametz, same letters, except for the hey and the chet, just a little bit, right? You take the hey, you add a little line, it becomes a chet. Matzah and chametz is the same letters. Matzah and chametz are the same ingredients. You know, some people, they're very afraid to eat things, you know, different customs, and God bless, everyone should keep their custom. I'm not here to change customs. You cannot change your custom. You gotta stick to your custom. People don't have rice. You don't have corn. You don't have hummus, because it sounds like chometz, so you don't have hummus. Whatever you don't have, stick to your tradition. That's a beautiful thing. But Cham Tzvi points out that a lot of people don't have these things because they're afraid of chametz. So what do they have? They load up on matzah. Says the Cham Tzvi, the most dangerous thing to eat on Pessah is matzah. It's the closest thing to chametz. It's right there. Same ingredients. It literally has flour. You worried that maybe the rice has flour. This for sure has flour. Now it's not chametz. We trust the bakery that we got it from. That's why they make it very, very thin today. And even there, some communities, they make sure to have it very dry. No gebrukts. No liquid. Because if there's any flour left, you now add liquid, it starts 18 minutes again. And becomes chametz. So that's why the Ashkenazim, some communities, no gebrukts, no liquid. They will never dip this into soup. They'll stone you before they dip it into soup. I told you a story one time. There was once a guy, there was Pessah, they were by the Alter Rebbe. I believe it's him, I don't know. They say, pick whoever rabbi you like. And the guy, all of a sudden, the Rebbe notices in the back, a lot of commotion. A lot of people yelling, moving. What happened? He said, Rabbi, this guy in the back, he's dipping his matzah into borscht. Anyone know what's borscht? Red soup. So the guy's dipping the matzah, gebruks. Rabbi closed his eyes and he said, it's true. But worse than making matzah red is making someone's face red. Right? So, I just like that story. So, you gotta be careful. Matzah and chametz, it's the same ingredients. The only difference is time. The only difference. Matzah doesn't have any time. So you ready? Step one. If we want to be free, gentlemen, we gotta start practicing like matzah. Zerizut. You guys should know that one. That's what we've been studying for months. The key to freedom is you gotta go fast. You have dreams, gotta do it right away. The worst word in life is tomorrow. Most dangerous word. Yetzer hara, he's very smart. He'll never tell you, don't. You know, you get inspired, you want to start doing something, or you want to quit something, or you want to stop, or whatever it is. He'll never say, don't do it. He's very smart. What does he say? He says, you know what, the rabbi was right. The rabbi was right. You should start keeping Shabbat. You should start, spending more time with your spouse. You should really apologize to that person. You should really, maybe, start running. Start eating healthy. You should start. The rabbi was right. Start next week. You have Pessah this week. You have a lot of carbs. Right after Pessah, you're going to start your diet. You're going to crush it. 2 weeks. Start 2 weeks. And it's brilliant. Because basically, he keeps doing it. He can't come and say, don't listen to him. Because he knows the rabbi's right. The therapist is right. The nutritionist is right. So start tomorrow. Start next week. Time. Remember what Mesilat Yesharim said? There is no danger like the danger of time. Time is the most dangerous thing. The Pasuk says, Ushmartem et hamatzot. Watch the matzah. Watch the matzah. Now the truth is, that's incorrect. You shouldn't say watch the matzah. Because it's not matzah yet. You should have said watch the dough. Watch the dough. Make sure the dough doesn't become chametz. It doesn't say that. It says watch the matzah. You know why? Because matzot, the Gemara says, Al tikri matzot illa mitzvot. When it comes to life, when we want to accomplish things, when we have mitzvot, the same way around matzah, you ever went to a bakery? Everyone's moving, let's go. If you want to be successful in life, you gotta start moving. You can't be chilled. You gotta get going. Time, very dangerous. Now that doesn't mean that you should rush into things. That's also very important what I'm telling you now. Say, okay, so let's go. The truth is, before Zerizut, Rav Chal spoke about something called Zeir. Zeir, means thinking. Be careful. Be very careful. Guy comes here and says, quick. We need 5 investors for $250 each. There's going to be a 27% return, but I need the money tonight. All right? Or else I'm getting someone else. I need yes or no. Anytime anyone in life comes to you and says, quick, do something, don't think. Anytime someone tells you not to think, stay very far away from that person. In life, you gotta think. In life, if we don't think, we fall. So I'm not telling you not to think. What I'm telling you is, think very well. But once you thought, once you've decided, the next step has got to be quick. Right away. Zerizut. Don't let it sit. Don't put it on the back burner. If you're single, I'm talking to you right now. If you want to get married, you will never get married if you approach dating in a lax attitude. You will never get married. If you approach it, date once today, one another time in 2 weeks, I'm going away, I'll text you when I get back, you will never get married. I promise you. You can't get married like that. It can't be that everything in life comes before getting married. This one got sick, and then my thing, and my job, and I have the thing, my grandma, she's in the hospital, and this one, and I hurt my leg, I'm seeing someone, and this, and that. And you put everything comes before marriage. You never get married. You want to get married? You got to do a few things. One of them is you got to date consistently. That's the word. You got to be consistent. You got to date, and the second you're done, you have to let her know either yes or no. None of this, I'll call her back in 6 months. Ghosting. Let me see. Try someone else. Are you hedging your bets over here? This is not a stock market. This is a person's life. This is your life. I know people that are single today for one reason and one reason only. They sat, and I can guarantee you, they sat with someone that they should have been married to. They sat on the same table as them. They went out on many dates. And they are broken up today. You know why? Because they got to get their act together. Because we'll see, he couldn't make moves. He couldn't make moves in life. And you know what's the funniest part? When all is said and done, and then it breaks up, the guy looks at me with all seriousness and goes, yeah, clearly it wasn't meant to be, you Rabbi. No, you idiots. Be a guy. Pursue. Hunt. Zariz. Gotta go. Can't sit. You want something, you gotta jump on it. Can't sleep. Because then we regret. Someone else took the house. We were sleeping. We should have bought it. What are we doing? Gotta be Zariz. Life doesn't wait for nobody. So lesson one. We want to be free, gentlemen. Like matzah. Gotta go quickly. Gotta get moving. You have a dream, you want something, whatever it is, I'm not here to tell you today what you should want. Whatever it is that you want, we'll have other classes one day, I'll tell you what you should want. Whatever it is that you want, go get it now. Today's the best day. Today is the best day of the rest of your lives to start doing something. Because if you can't start today, it's going to be only more difficult tomorrow. I promise you. If you can't quit today, you think it's going to be easy to quit tomorrow? Tomorrow, you are one day deeper into your addiction. It's going to be easier. Tomorrow's going to be harder. If you can't do it now, tomorrow's much harder. Today is the easiest day of your life to start doing something. Today's the day. Hayom. That's why in Hebrew, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Atem nitzavim hayom. You gentlemen are standing here today. Hayom. I saw something nice. Atem, acronym. Al tomar mahar. Don't say tomorrow. Don't be like Annie. Not going to be good for you. Tomorrow's very dangerous. Be today. Okay? So whatever it is that you want. You want to apologize to somebody? Do it today. You want to make shalom with your spouse? Can't wait till next week. Can't do it tomorrow. Gotta do it now. Today. Rabbi Norman Land, he says that he was once at a funeral, and the son was crying uncontrollably. And as they were walking back from the burial, the son turned to him. And always it's sad at a funeral. But something happened. You could tell something happened. The son turns to him and says, Rabbi, this morning my father called me. He called me. It sounds like he wanted to tell me something. And I saw the phone, and I saw the ring, and I declined. I said, I'll call him later. And later never came. So things that are important in life, gentlemen, we cannot push off. We cannot procrastinate. There's no en sakana ke sakanato. From Chal's words, there's nothing more dangerous than time. So we gotta get moving. And whatever our dreams are. You want to start learning the daf? You want to start learning the daf? Don't wait till they start a new chapter. Don't wait till they start a new masechet. Start now, today. You want to start praying with a minyan? Start right now, Arbi. Don't start tomorrow, Shahadi. Start tonight. Now. Now's the best time. Because that's the lesson of matzah. Matzah is quick. So if you want freedom, you gotta get moving. But there's another lesson in freedom, in matzah. See, matzah, besides for time, there's also, what else is in chametz? What makes the dough rise? Besides for time, there's also something called yeast. This is called in Hebrew, seor. Actually, the word seor is a very interesting word. The word seor is a leavening agent. The pasuk says, we say it every day in the Ketoret, kicho seor, B'chol devash lo tartilu. Now that I have on your korbanot, you can have on the mizbeach. You cannot have two ingredients that are no-nos. Can never go on the mizbeach. You cannot have salt. Devash is honey, and you cannot have seor. You cannot have yeast. Yeast's got to stay far away. You can't have any yeast on your korbanot. What is yeast? Yeast makes things rise. Gemara actually says, there was a rabbi, there was Rabbi Alexandri. Rabbi Alexandri said, Ribono shel olam, Master of the universe, Retzonenu la'asot retzoncha. Hashem, we want to do your will. You know that we want to do good things, but we can't because seor sheba'isa me'akev. Because there's something called the yeast. The yeast is stopping us. The yeast is the Yetzer Hara. You see, because the Yetzer Hara, like yeast, what does he do? What does he do? Something very interesting. Yetzer Hara does. You know what he does? He takes something like matzah. He takes something that's flat. Dough is flat. You add a little yeast. What happens? It blows up. Yeast represents blowing things out of proportion. This is something that he's very good at. You come home, you come home, and dinner was warm. You like dinner hot. Your wife knows that. It was warm. Is it nice? No, not nice. Would you rather it was hotter? You would rather it was hotter. But now what happens? Now he comes into your head, and he tells you, what? Your wife gave you a warm dinner. This is potential grounds for divorce. How does she do that to you? Doesn't she know how hard you work? What do you ask her in? All day she's shopping. All day she's going around. She's enjoying the life. All you want is a hot dinner. What's a guy got to do? I want him just a hot dinner. See? She doesn't respect you. See? Told you. You got to put your foot down. Put your foot down today. Woo. Take care of the problem. You heard what Rabbi Mizrahi said? You got to nip it in the bud. Take care of it right now. Put it down right now. You got to show her this is unacceptable in this whole money. And so what do? For the next 7 weeks, we're fighting. Because we got dinner a little bit lukewarm. Sometimes it's even sillier than that. We're fighting because silly things. Small things, small issues. Issues, we all have issues. But sometimes it's a small issue. Or we let it blow up. Blow it out of proportion. That's what yeast does. That's what seor. It's a small issue, it's a little thing. It's, oh my God. And in life, you want to be free. You have to remember that. You got to keep things where they are. Okay, it's a problem. You can even mention, honey, just wondering, I know usually you prepare very hard for tonight. Just wondering, curiosity. Why was it warm? Just wanted to know, Because I know you went to the store, you bought the buns, you bought the hamburgers, you even got the tomatoes beautifully, even thin this time. The onions, God bless you. But just wondering, why is it warm? Usually it's hot. Have the conversation. Understand? Everything okay? Did something happen today? Because dinner's horrible. Something happened today. Everything okay? Should get you a drip, something. You need an IV. What'd you do all day? Understand? Right? And then all of a sudden, what happens? And now you're not talking for 4 days. And then if someone were to ask you, why are you not talking to your wife for 4 days? The love of your life, your partner in crime. Why not talking to her for 4 days? Oh yeah, because she gave me a small spoon for the soup instead of a big spoon. So you fighting for your wife for 4 days because she by mistake gave you a small spoon? Get off of the chair, go to the drawer, get a big spoon. The issue's over. It's over. No. Now for 4 days we're fighting. And the kids see the fighting and everything, close it up. That's it. He's very good at that. By Pessah, he brings a scary story. I think I told you, of his fellow who was here in the summer, and the wife went up to the Catskills, to the mountains, to this, So she calls him Thursday. She says, "Honey, I need the checkbook. I ran out of checks. I have to pay people. Please bring the checkbook." So, okay, I'll bring the checkbook. And then she called him the next day again at work. "Honey, bring the checkbook. Don't forget the checkbook." "Okay, I got the checkbook, honey." And she calls him, texts him, "Checkbook, check. I'm gonna bring the checkbook, okay?" And Friday, as he woke, he takes the checkbook, puts it in an orange bag, starts driving up, sitting in traffic, and traffic's not fun. Finally gets there. He said, "Here's your checkbook, honey. You got a checkbook. Okay, here you go." She says, "Thank you so much." And she throws it on the crib. She hangs it on the side of the crib. Shabbat came and Shabbat went, and Sunday, and he comes back a week later, and the checkbook is still in the orange bag, right there inside the crib, still up to check 142. Didn't move. "Checkbook, honey, what happened to the checkbook?" "Tom, what are you doing?" He didn't say anything. It's killing him, annoying him. Bothered me in work, bothered me with my friends in the gym, to bring that. She didn't even use it. Okay. He goes back after Shabbat. Monday morning gets a call from his wife's sister. She's hysterical. She said, "Hurry up, get over here right now. Your wife just got into a crazy accident. She's in the ICU. True story." I can't believe what happened. Talk to me. I can't talk, just get over here. He rushes out of work. He starts driving, racing as fast as he can. He gets up there, gets into the hospital. Everyone's crying. What happened? She didn't make it. Talk to her. I just saw her yesterday. No, she just got into this crazy accident. His wife passed away. I couldn't believe it. He went home. The first check he wrote was to the Chevra Kadisha for the burial. And he saw the checkbook. He said, "How stupid of me. I was annoyed at my wife the whole Shabbat now. Because the check, and we were at tension and everything. Because of stupid checks." And the guy, for the rest of his life, he kept this orange bag, and he actually wrote on it 3 words. 3 words that his wife always said. "Ze lo chashuv." It's not important. It's not important. Don't make it a bigger deal than it really is. Don't blow it up. Don't make it chametz. Don't let the yeast do that. So when we search tomorrow for the chametz on Sunday night, we're looking for what? We're looking, yes, for chametz in the home, but really there's a beautiful prayer to say before the bedikah, gentlemen. Say this prayer. And the bedikah is, "Hashem, please let us also eradicate the chametz that we have in our personal lives." We each have chametz, we each have se'or, we have ga'ava, we have ego. We're studying about that now. The ego. Ga'ava is very dangerous. Ga'ava ruins a lot of people's lives. Ga'ava blows it up. Makes us think we're more important. Someone embarrasses us. You're going to take that? You know who you are? Yeah. How dare they do that? How dare they ignore me? How dare? You know who I am? Ga'ava. Ga'ava comes and swells up our head. Makes it very big. Se'or. All the issues in life from Chased are from Ga'ava. Arrogance. Hubris. It's a very dangerous thing. And people really ruin their lives because of arrogance. Siblings don't talk to each other for decades. Because they can't put aside a little ego and go apologize. Their mother is suffering and their father and everyone around suffering because they can't just apologize. Husband and wife fighting because they don't have the humility to be able to hear the other side. To hear, just to hear. No. I know I'm right. I don't even have to hear you on this one. I know you're so wrong. You're so off. I don't even have to hear. It's not even a conversation. We can't even hear. We don't have the humility. So Ga'ava is a very dangerous thing. Ga'ava takes it big. People have opportunities of a lifetime. All they need is a little humility. Politicians ruin their careers because of a little arrogance. Good politicians, Good policy. But because their head gets big, they throw it all away. They lose it all because of arrogance. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing. It's an unbelievable thing what arrogance can do to a man. So in life we have to really work on humility. The seor that blows it up makes us think that we're huge, that we're big, that we're worthy of all of the kavod and the praise. Right? That was the definition of ga'ava, remember? A guy who thinks he's worthy of praise because of something that he has. It could be money, it could be looks, it could be talent, it could be his position, his family name, something. But you think that you are God's gift to the world. People should go all day applauding you. Ga'ava. Ga'ava blows it up. So as an example, there was a fellow that the Gemara says he had a big problem with Ga'ava. And Hashem came to him and said, here, let's start over. I believe it was one of the kings, Yeroboam. And this guy was a big sinner. And Hashem said to him, it's okay, let's start over. I'll forgive you. How about this? I'll take you and me and David. Private helicopter tour of Gan Eden. What do you say? What do you say? Me, you, and David, private helicopter tour. Gan Eden. And you know what he said to God? Who's sitting shotgun? God said, well, David's going to sit shotgun. But you're going to be in a helicopter with us, private helicopter. He said, no thanks. No thanks. That sounds like a crazy story. Sounds like, what an idiot. We all do that. We all have amazing ability. We can get married. We can have an awesome marriage. My wife has maybe the best line in history. Write this line down. Write this line down. In life, you have a choice. You can either be right or you can be happy. Not both. No, I'm not going to go to the seder. Every time I go to my parents, they say things, treat me like a doormat. I become the focus of the topic of conversation of the night. Every time I go, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put my foot down. I want to be right. You have a choice. You can be right or you can be happy. That's a choice that you're making every day in your life. And sometimes people choose, unfortunately, they want to be right. The principle. When I was a kid, principals got us in trouble in school. Then I realized as I got older, the principal gets everyone in trouble. Get older, the principal is also there. It's the principle. Principle. And we can't put aside a little ego. It's a principle. I want to be right. I'm going to be right. I'll show the world. I'll show them. They'll come one day. Revenge is the biggest, best, right? Success is the best revenge. Ba ba ba. All these lines. If we want to be right, we choose to be right over choosing to be happy. Mi barosh. Who's going to sit shotgun? So we have to remember the Yetzer Hara is very good at blowing things up. He's going to blow up a comment that your friend said on the chat. Wasn't a nice comment. He shouldn't have said that. It was very, very shallow of him. But he's going to blow it up the Yetzer Hara. And he's going to make it in your head like this was the worst comment of all time. This was the roast of roast. And if you don't get him back at him now, forget about it. So we start thinking what we're going to do to get back, get even. Blows it up. In English, the word is hype. He's very good at hype. He's very good at taking us to think something is much better than it really is. This is our, right, childhood experience. Every party was basically, oh, it's going to be sick. We go to the party, we come back, it's lame. What a dumb party. It was beat, right? But, right? So, he's He's good at hype. He's good at making things. That's the difference between mitzvot and averot, by the way. Averot, before we do them, every averah is always hyped up. He hypes it up. Right? That's what advertising is all about today. You gotta hype it up. You gotta take something and make it amazing. So we get pumped. We get hyped to go do an averah. Right? Think about lust. It's really, if you think about it, it's the dumbest thing. Right? What is it? It's a human being. A piece of skin. Smelly, it's what is it? What is it? Right? But we have this, right? He creates this yeast, blows it up. It's gonna be sick. It'll be amazing. Really? Nothing there. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. It's no different than Avodah Zarah. None of us today are ready to go bow down to idols. But do you know why that is? It's not because you're so much more intelligent than they used to be. It's not because of that. They weren't primitive. The reason we're not rushing to bow down like they used to bow down is because the rabbis 2,000 years ago was a very big favor. They prayed for Hashem to remove the temptation of idolatry. The rabbis got together, like this, got together. They made a whole prayer. They opened the ark, they set the Hilim, I don't know what they did. And they prayed. And guess what? Hashem answered their prayer. And they saw this huge fiery lion emerging from the Holy of Holies. And instantly, no one anymore had a temptation to bow down to a piece of wood. Just like that, stop. The Gemara says. And then the rabbi said, wow, this is pretty good. Let's go 2 for 2. What did they pray for next? To remove lust. The libido. So they prayed, and guess what? It worked. Wow. Amazing. Alright, guys. I guess let's go learn Gemara. What are we doing? You know? And then the next morning, a lady came into the study hall and she started crying, Rabbis, please give me some money, give me some money. What do you need? What do you usually do for parnasah? What's usually your livelihood? She says, well, usually I sell eggs, but this morning the chickens didn't lay any eggs. So I'm broke. The rabbis understood. Wow. So that means that temptation is needed sometimes. Or else we're not going to have any children. Right? That's what the Rambam writes. The temptation, the ta'ava, for immorality, without it we would never reproduce. How would you ever get married? How would you ever get married? Think about it. Today, by the way, the trend is to not get married. That's the trend. Because they're satisfying whatever they need. Thank you, birth control. Thank you, abortion. So they don't have to, watch what they're doing. So they're getting all the satisfaction. They're getting all their needs met. Why get married? So no one's having kids anymore. You see, it used to be, before the 60s, that people had to be responsible for their actions. And because of that, you got married. So people got married once upon a time. So today, no one wants to get married. No one cares to get married. Because you don't need to get married. Because you're able to do everything that you can do anyways. It's all the perks of marriage, without marriage. It's amazing. It's like the best life. You go, one night stand, boom. You don't have to worry about paying bills. You don't have to worry about fathering someone. You don't have to worry about anything. It's great. So they're getting all of their needs met. But that's what the Rambam writes, that really Hashem created that need. Because without it, you would never get married. So the rabbis understood, okay, we need this one. So they prayed, and they removed the removal of the temptation. They brought it back. But that's what the Yetzer Hara does. He takes something small, and he blows it up. Blows it up. So this is the second lesson that we learn. So again, as we're eating matzah, gentlemen, there's a lot to meditate on. Right? We spoke about it a lot tonight. If we want to access freedom, if we want to tap into being free, we gotta learn zrizut. We gotta learn getting rid of the yeast of the ego. And I want to talk about just one more food with the remaining time. And that is the maror. Because mitzvah eat maror too. The maror means mar, bitter. And it represents the bitter experience that we had. Truth is, different customs of what we eat from our Lord. So people have horseradish. The Sephardic custom is to have lettuce. I don't know about you guys, but lettuce tastes amazing. When was the last time you ate lettuce? Like, oh, it's so bitter. Lettuce is great. Before kale, we all had lettuce salads. It was awesome. So why are we eating lettuce from our Lord? I mean, I think the Ashkenazim got this one right. The horseradish is the way to go. Like, no one's asking for doubles of that one, you know what I mean? They saw these fishermen, they saw this Jewish guy coming with horseradish on the bait. Like, dude, who uses horseradish for bait? What kind of fish are you going to catch with that? He goes, what do you mean? You can filter fish. You guys know you're going to use that one on Pessah. So why are we eating lettuce from our Lord? What does that represent? That represents, gentlemen, something very powerful. Listen to this. Maror, lettuce, is bitter. But you know when? It's bitter when you leave it in the ground for a long time. Lettuce is only sweet in the beginning. But if you let it stay, it eventually becomes very bitter. And this is all of evil. This is what Paro did. How did Paro get us? How did Paro get us to be slaves for him? You know how it started? Pasuk says, "Ve'yavidu et bnei Israel befarech." Befarech, the Gemara says, beferach. Farech means a soft mouth. Paro came with a soft mouth. He came first, he said, guys, listen, we're all contributing here to Egyptian pyramids. Come join us. Taxes. Everyone's got to pay taxes. Dude, you said, yeah, pay taxes, let's go. Come on guys, roll up your sleeves, let's build. We started building. And then some time passed, and then we realized that we were showing up and no one else was showing up. And but I was like, don't worry, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you for your time, don't worry. I said, all right, we love money, let's go. And then some time passed, and then they stopped paying us. But you still got to build, because we need you to build. And then if we wanted to take off, they said, no, you can't take off. Who else is going to build? And they started to beat us. And they started to kill the babies. And then before we realized, we were neck deep. So it started with very sweet taxes. Just come. We're all doing it. And it ended up being very bitter. So Maror represents the idea of realizing in life, gentlemen, that things start off okay, but they don't remain okay. They become bitter very, very fast. They say if you take a frog and you put him in hot water, he'll jump out. But if you take that same frog and you put him in warm water, the water that your wife gave you for dinner, the warm thing, right? And then you slowly raise the temperature, slowly, gradually, he'll never get out. He won't jump. And he ends up getting cooked in the water. You see, in life, we become tolerant. We acclimate. We get used to. We get used to things. When things are not okay, we get used to it being not okay. We settle. We accept. This is how it is. This is how it is. What are you going to do? Can't beat him, join him. The first step of freedom is realizing it's very bitter. Realizing there's a problem. But sometimes we don't realize there's a problem. Sometimes we acclimate. So even the Jews in Egypt acclimate. So the Pasuk says that God says the four, right? We have four cups corresponding to the four Leshonot Yehudah, Ve'hotzeti, Beitzati, Ve'ati, Ve'lakachti, right? So the first one, Ve'hotzeti etchem mitachat Sivlot Mitzrayim. I'm going to take you out of Sivlot Mitzrayim. I'm going to take you out of the suffering, right? That's how you explain it. Translates Sivlot, suffering. But Rabbi Bernstein says the word sevel also means in Hebrew to bear, savlanut, to tolerate. God said, I got to take you out of tolerance mode. You guys are okay with it here. The Jews are like, Moshe, don't rock the boat. We're good. Leave us alone. You're going to get this guy angry at us. What are you talking about? You're good. Do you not see? You're getting beaten. Throwing babies in the water. On what planet is this good? How are you okay with this? How did it come to a level that you just accepted? In life, sometimes we start tolerating our miserable situation. We're okay with it. And it happens slowly, we don't even realize sometimes. You know, you don't see your cousin for years. And then you see him and you're like, oh my God, look at you, you all shut up, you grew. The kid didn't see that difference. Because you see it every day, you get used to it. Sometimes we look at ourselves 5 years later, and we're the person that we swore we would never be. I'll never do those things. I'll never get so addicted. I'll never be that dad. I'll never be that guy. I'll never do that. Right? Me, I'll never talk in shul like that. Look at those guys. Right? We see sometimes guys doing things, we say, oh, how horrible, how do they do that? Me, I'll never do that. I'll never give money and want everyone to applaud me. And then slowly, 5, 10, 15 years later, and then we look back and we're right where we swore we would never be. We don't even realize it. And we're okay with it. God says step one of freedom is you got to realize you're a slave. But most of the time we don't even realize there's something wrong. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Iran shot 300 drones and rockets or whatever you want to call them, combinations. Imagine that happened to any other country. Just imagine Canada shot one rocket, one drone. Not 10, not 30, not 300, one. Imagine that. One drone. Canada tomorrow would be the part of the USA. Tomorrow. We don't want Canada. No more Canada. Not, we don't want it to escalate. Escalate, dude! 300 rockets, it escalated, baby! That happened! And the crazy thing is that we're like, W. We won. 99% were shot down. Most of them didn't even make it to Israel. We showed them. We won. The craziest thing is that we view this as a W, as a win. Hashem is amazing. He protected us. It's true. Hashem is amazing. Protecting us. But how are we okay with this? What happened? What happened that this became a norm? How is this now okay? It's just okay. How did it become that the world views this as this is okay? In what other country would this ever be acceptable? Sometimes things happen in our lives that we become okay with the status quo. We stop climbing. We stop striving. We stop pushing. We become complacent. It's okay. So I won't understand the prayer. It's okay, so I'll pray, but I won't understand what I'm saying. I don't need to understand every word in the tefillah. We accept that. We accept that we're never going to pray with kavanah. We accept that, okay, I guess it was meant to be that I should be single. Alright, not so bad anyways. Pretty good life. We adjust. That's a very dangerous thing sometimes. Of course, we have to learn to be resilient. We can never be okay with the status quo. We can always push for more. We should never become sovel. I could tolerate. Because step one of Geulah is realize that you are in jail. Realize you're enslaved. So long that we don't feel we're stuck, our journey to redemption cannot begin. So step one of freedom, we gotta say, Houston, we have a problem. Step one of recovery, I have a problem. We gotta say it. If I can't say it, the story can't start. So we gotta learn from the Maror. My marriage is not okay. We gotta say that. This is not okay. Can't be now normal. It's okay. We're better than other people. Other couples are divorced. Other people are, at least we're still sleeping in the same room. Right? It's not okay. This is not the way a relationship should work. It's not okay that I talk like this. I shouldn't accept this of myself. It's not okay. This person is doing this to me. I shouldn't be okay with that. I shouldn't be okay with that. There's a problem here. I gotta say that. I gotta acknowledge that. I gotta realize that. The story only begins if I can say, I'm in Egypt. The story starts with, Avadim hayinu lefaro. You gotta start with that sentence. We gotta say that. You know, when we started off in our careers, we swore we're never become alcoholics. We're never become workaholics. We're never become addicted to our gadgets. I'm not going to be that guy that's going to be on the phone for 7 hours a day. It's not going to be me. I'm not that guy. You know what happens? Starts with half hour, then an hour, then 2 hours, and then 4 hours, and then your screen time. Look at the end of the day. Holy smokes! I'm that guy. I'm that guy. And we settle. We settle to be mediocre in life. You weren't created to be mediocre. You were meant for greatness. But you gotta first realize that you're mediocre. We gotta be able to look at ourselves and say, I'm just average right now. I've settled for average. I've settled for okay marriage. I've settled for okay relationship with Hashem. I've settled for an okay relationship with the Beit Knesset. I've settled for an okay amount of tzedakah that I give. It's really, I can do much better. There's a problem here. This should not go on. This cannot continue. But we stop dreaming. The Jews in Egypt said, Moshe, just leave us alone. We're good. They stopped dreaming. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu, FYI, had to grow up in a palace. He had to realize what was out there. He needed someone that wasn't a slave mentality. If he grew up with everyone else, then he'd just get used to it. He needed someone to come up from the outside and say, hello guys, you have no idea. You have no idea what you're missing. It could be so much better. Your marriage could be so much better. You could be in love. You could be in love, excited to be with this person that loves you, that you're sharing children with. Intimate. It could be fire. Fire! Prayer. You could get on a high. You don't need shrooms, buddy. You don't need a madricha. You don't need someone to guide you and wake you up 5-6 hours later. You could get there in the Amidah. You could have that experience. You could have an amazing life. You gotta realize that right now I'm just average. I don't want to be average. I deserve greatness. You know, elephants in the circus. You see these elephants walking, they're so big, so strong. They also have very good memories. They say elephants have very good memories. They see a face, they'll remember it, right? Better than elephants are mother-in-laws, they have better memories. After mother-in-law is the elephant. And you see these elephants, and they're so strong. And what's keeping them from running through the stadium and just crushing everybody? You look closely, you see around their legs, these small little ropes. And you laugh because these ropes, the elephant just one step, boom, breaks through. So I said one time, you know how they train these elephants? when they're born, little babies, they tie these ropes around their feet. Now when they're babies, they're very weak. They actually cannot break through the ropes yet. But when he's born, he stays with this idea in his head that he can't break through. And so as he gets bigger and bigger and bigger, he just thinks he can never break through. And so he accepts, this is my reality. I don't break through ropes. I can't. And he settles for mediocre. So step one of freedom, Monday night was, we're going to go into our promised land. We're going to journey into greatness. We want to be free. Step one. I'm not free right now. There's a problem. I have it as an issue. It could be much better, and I want it to be better. But right now it's not there. It could be there. I want it to be there. It's not there. I could be a patient guy. I could be patient. I don't have to be that guy that's honking his wife after 10 seconds in the car that she didn't come, and I'm honking for the next 45 minutes. I don't have to be that guy. I can choose to be that guy. I don't have to be that guy. I can be better than that. I could be better. I could be patient. I could be honest at work. I could be. I can't accept this. This should not be my norm. If you want to make money, Rabbi, gotta do certain things. Gotta get creative. Money's gotta come somewhere. If you're just gonna do what everyone does, you're not gonna make it. Gotta do something different. You gotta buy the 3-pack and then sell it as a 1-pack. You gotta do something. So we become used to, acclimated, and we lose a sense of urgency. That there's a problem in my life. So step one, maror, there's a problem here. Don't get used to the life that you find yourself in right now. Don't be okay with it. Be acclimated. It's okay, it's not so bitter. That's the lesson of the maror. So as we're chewing on that maror, we gotta say, what are the things in my life that I'm doing that I learned to be okay with, to settle with? I want more, I want better. And the matzah reminds us, let me start right now. And let me get rid of this yeast in my life that's blowing things out of proportion. That's tightening things up. So these are just some foods and some lessons that we learn as we journey through freedom. Of course, there's a lot more, and we have to read more and study more, and there's a lot of other steps. We didn't even talk about the wine. The kosot is a whole other lesson. We didn't talk about afikolam already. We didn't talk about Pessah, we didn't talk about the zerova, we didn't talk about the shank bone, right? All of that's amazing stuff. But I think there's enough to chew on for tonight. I want to wish everyone here Echad Kasher V'Sameach. You guys, just want you to know, you guys should really be very proud of yourselves. You guys are here every Tuesday night. That's a very big step. That is something to be able to walk home tonight and pat yourself on the back. Because that is definitely taking a very big step towards freedom. That what you're learning, I'm looking around the room, 9 out of 10 people that are here right now, more. 19 out of 20 people that are here right now are here every week. Here every week. That's unbelievable. That's very powerful. You guys are consistent. It's beautiful. We want it. We're learning it, we're studying it, we're applying it. Baruch Hashem. Hashem should bless us to be able to really maximize this holiday. Again, I want to wish everyone here Echad Kasher V'Sameach, a beautiful holiday. And like the Sfarim promise, whoever gets rid of chametz on Pessah will be guaranteed, Bezrat Hashem, next year to be able to check for chametz again. Chag Sameach, everybody. Chag Sameach. Rabbi Chaim Shamet.